Hey YouTube, JW. Get a lot of people ask me what I carry, what knives I carry on an everyday basis. So I figured I'd go ahead and do a video, show you guys what I pretty much carry day to day. And most of these knives you've seen in my videos, some of the videos are a few years old. Up until really not that long ago, I didn't have a ton of new or newer EDC knives. Probably the one I carry the most nowadays is probably the Smell Purdue 530 Benchmade. I did a review on this knife not too long ago. I really like this knife because it's very light, very thin, and when I'm around the house, which is a lot of the time, or exercising or doing whatever, when I'm not wearing jeans or tactical pants, this doesn't weight down my pants where I'm not wearing a belt. So I can pretty much carry this anytime. Whereas, you know, I also carry this Browning Black Label. It's the Tracer Dagger neck knife. I was carrying this a lot because I wasn't, you know, when I wear exercise clothing, you know, Adidas pants, you know what I mean. You put a clip blade like this Tenacious, which I carry quite a bit, and I really like. It's too heavy, you know. It's fine in a pair of jeans, and this is what I carry most of the time when I'm wearing, you know, when we go out and stuff like that. So ever since I've got this Benchmade, I haven't been using the neck knife as much, but I firmly believe in the neck knife now. It definitely is handy. So this one probably has been carried the most as of late. Great knife, I really like it. And then the Spyderco Tenacious, these two. These two here, and then along with the neck knife are probably the three number ones. I also have some other knives. I've got this Schrade. It is the SCH-205 that was given to me by Schrade to test, and there's a little bit of wear on it. You know, honestly, I don't beat my knives up. I don't, you know, I just have been using this as I would carry a normal thing, a normal knife. I'm not going to abuse this thing just to see if I can break it. But overall, it seems to be just fine. I've carried it maybe 20 times, I would say, and it's fine. Somewhere along the lines of the Tenacious. Got a couple knives here. This Stone Cold Black Label Browning is a knife I bought a while back for EDC, and I did EDC it quite a bit, but I haven't in a while. It's not a bad knife. The steel on it is not very good, but the ergonomics in this knife are fantastic, and it is a rock solid lockup. You know, I did a review on this, but you know, this knife, it has multi-position pocket clips. It is not an assisted knife, but has a flipper or ambidextrous thumb studs, and nice solid lockup. You know, the blade is perfectly centered. Well, maybe not perfect, but it's pretty good. Overall, but it's a heavy knife. You know, you've got it in your pocket, but you could really wallop somebody with this thing. Look into the Black Label line of Browning stuff. It's not bad. They've got a full line of tactical clothing, and everything that I've got in the Black Label line of Browning, or Browning in general here recently, which it is imported, made in China, but it's pretty good quality. Every once in a while I carry this Sebenza. It's a little Chris Reeve Sebenza type knockoff clone. It's a $15 knife, and but I mean, I also did a video on this. For the money, it's impossible to beat. Great blade steel, super sharp, good blade design. Just a little, I mean, if you're looking for a beater knife, look no farther. Here's an old classic, my SOG Flash 2, the camo. I've had this for about 4 years, and I've hard used this knife. I've beat it. I never could get it. It's Japanese AUS 8 stainless steel. I never could ever really get it to take a great edge for some reason. It's not the steel, it's just the blade profile. The Tonto tip is not the best for EDC everyday use tasks. It just doesn't lend itself well to it, in my opinion, as opposed to a drop point blade design with that belly. It's much better. Honestly, I really enjoy the leaf design blade of the Spyderco knives. They work very well. But it's a good knife. I mean, not the best knife in the world. There's a little bit of play, but I've beat this knife up pretty good, and it's held up. So this is my my most used classic EDC knife, but definitely not the best. If I was looking to just pop something in my pocket for classic style, I've got this Imperial Schrade sod buster that I've carried on occasion. You see there's a few nicks in the blade there, and you know, I've used this knife, but solid lockup, good feel in the hand, good blade design. Steel's not that good, but you know, for a Sunday knife or something you just want to slip in if you want to do traditional carry. It is made in China. It's the Taylor brand, Imperial, but I like the sod buster design, so you know, this was one that's been with me a few times. As far as automatic knives go, I used to carry auto knives more. This is another one that I've Sundayed before a few times. It's just actually it's a Pakistan made lever lock automatic. Actually not a bad knife for about 25 bucks. Another knife that I paid about 25 bucks for is this clone of a ProTech Godfather. I've had this knife for 4 years, and I've EDC'd it countless times. I'm not for sure. It's 440 stainless, but it actually takes a really good edge on this. This will cut right through paper. It's funny how different 440s I can get to get sharp, and some 440s I just flat ass cannot get to do shit like this. Whereas this one does. I don't know why, but there is no safety on this knife, but I've carried it many times. This was back in the days when my Lightning, out the front Lightning knife, I carried countless times, and finally it started deploying on its own, and I had to retire it. But after 4 years of being carried, It's never deployed in my pocket. Still fires good. Still locks up just fine. So I think Key West Knife Works and some other places, I think they have this in a red and a green handle. They also have it with the satin blade. It's been a good knife, you know. Looks cool. Another automatic is the Spoker Kalashnikov. It was a limited run I got from Blade HQ a couple years ago, or a year or so ago. You can see there's some wear on there. I have carried this knife. I actually just saw a video yesterday. You see this little acid etch there on the blade. I was popping open a battery to refill for an ATV, popping off the caps, and a little bit of battery acid got on there and etched that stone wash. I never could get it to come out. It's Aus 8 steel. Been a good knife. For an automatic, I mean, when you run an automatic knife, most of the time you are not going to have the lockup that you are with a standard knife. It's just not going to be as tight. I also bought my father-in-law one of these for Christmas, and he's carried it a lot. I mean, his is the tan model, and it's all worn and beat up, and it still works just fine. And I saw a guy comment on a video yesterday about the manual version of this, like Bud K sells, where it's just the button lock, but there's actually no automatic. You just have to flip it out. And they were saying how this knife is junk and it breaks. And well, I've had good luck with it. But the only thing I don't really like about it, I mean, there's no safety, but it has a deep button push. You really have to push it down to get it to deploy. Fires hard. You're not going to get it deployed. You know, nice open construction. Takes a good edge. Even with that dagger blade, it actually is not bad. The pocket clip, I definitely don't really like. It is low ride, but it gets caught on things quite frequently, it seems. So that's pretty much all of my EDC knives that I carry right now. But the two that I would say probably the most is Spyderco and the Benchmade. Looks like I'm moving up in the world a little bit compared to as far as quality, and that seems to be what happens with knives. But I like to mix it up, but these are the two probably right now: the Spyderco Tenacious and Mel Purdue Benchmade 530. So I appreciate you guys watching, and stay tuned for the next video.